weeknights at 9:20 on CNBC, the world leader in business news.
Brought to you by ING Private Banking.
At the heart of the U.S. Business Day.
You know, the news is fast and furious.
Get an in-depth look at the stories driving the markets. Power Lunch, weeknights at 12 on CNBC.
Singapore's apex pal is hoping to make money in North Korea despite an international push for sanctions on the communist country. The owner of the sake sushi chain wants to become the first Singaporean company to establish a presence in Pyongyang. While the country's isolated nature may not be appealing to investors, Apex Pal says there are opportunities there and almost no competition. Apex Pal is waiting for tensions to ease before opening a branch in Pyongyang. Sake Sushi has branches in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia and the Philippines, and its expansion plans include New York, Moscow, Vietnam and Dubai. Well, Douglas Foo is CEO of Apex Pal International. Douglas, great to have you with us in our studio today. I believe that you were actually in North Korea the day that that country announced that it had successfully made a nuclear test. Now, I guess no one could have predicted the exact timing, but I suppose in terms of expectations, we were expecting this kind of thing to happen at some stage. Nonetheless, what kind of spanner does it throw into your timing and plans for opening up sake sushi in Pyongyang?
I think we are still on that direction of trying to open sake sushi in Pyongyang, but with all these things that's happening, we will just have to let things cool down a little bit. In fact, I was a little bit worried that on that morning when I was supposed to take a 4 o'clock flight from Pyongyang to Beijing, and I got to know about the news around noontime. I was worried that if the Beijing didn't allow that flight to move out, I'll probably be still there talking to you. I don't know how, but yeah. You
say you're waiting for things to cool down, but that could be years. Does that mean you're going to put your plans on hold for as long as it takes?
Actually, there are twofold. There are two things that we were talking when I was in Pyongyang. One is actually to bring the Korean food. In Pyongyang, there's this Korean culture which is very authentic, which is very original. The kind of food and culture which we hope to bring into Singapore market. And the other thing is to bring sake sushi into the Korean market.
It's Sri here. I hope you don't mind. I just want to put you on the spot a little bit now to talk about the country that you're operating in. Now, the famine in North Korea, as you know, about a decade ago, I'm just looking at some statistics here, killed at least 1 million people, and the country still needs massive international food aid. Now, my question to you is, do you have any reservations about opening what some may perceive as a very high-end sushi restaurant in a country where people have been reduced to eating grass because of food shortages?
I was there. I did not really see things like famine. I guess we were being chaperoned around. And what we saw were restaurants. I was staying in a 5-star. I was there. I did not really see things like famine. I guess we were being chaperoned around. And what we saw were restaurants. I was staying in a 5-star hotel, and things were just as per normal. We see businessmen from Russia, we see businessmen from China, we see businessmen from the European countries there discussing business. So it's kind of business as usual. And the restaurants, they have got the Korean restaurant, which is patronized by the expats and some of the diplomat community there, as well as the state-owned enterprise, which have got which numbers many, because they're in lots of business over there. And this state-owned enterprise, they cross-entertain each other. So those are the opportunities that we are looking at.
I just want to get an idea, Douglas, of how the menu is priced compared to the sake sushi in Singapore or elsewhere. I mean, clearly, if I'm not mistaken, the average North Korean man or woman in the street would or would not be able to afford your California rolls that you have on your menu.
We are actually really not targeting the man in the street. I think that has got a long, it will take some time to develop. We're actually targeting the businessmen, the diplomats, and the expats community. And over there, to give you an idea, a meal over there usually would cost about about 60 to 80 euros. So that's the kind of pricing that we hope to be able to charge. And the cost of doing business there apparently will be a little bit high because of the logistics infancy as well.
Okay, so cost of doing business is going to be high. How many expats would there be? How many sort of people working in NGOs or in diplomatic circles? I mean, I'm trying to get an idea of what kind of target audience you've got in terms of numbers here.
Right. I think the numbers are not specific. We tried to get those numbers, but according to our partner over there, they are doing great business. There are not many restaurants that people could choose from. Not many variety, so that's why I would look at the market as really almost no competition.
You said there's no competition, but you can't give us some exact numbers in terms of target clientele. So how are you doing your business model? Like, what kind of targets have you got in terms of financials, for example? From when you enter North Korea, how long do you think it would take before you would break even, for example?
From what our partner over there has done up, we are looking at a couple of months, actually less than 12 months. There are number, in terms of thousands of people that are coming in and through to do business there. The expats community and the state-owned enterprises, there are even more. There could be tens of thousands of companies over there. And these companies will have like the top few people who will need to be dining out. They will be the one who can afford to actually dine out and do entertainment. Okay, so you expect to break even within 12 months? That's right.
Okay, we'll try and hold you to that when you come on. I want to ask you about the other facet that you've come to talk to us about, and that is, of course, bringing North Korean cuisine to Singapore. Why would a Singaporean want to go and eat North Korean cuisine? What kind of food is it that would attract the average person?
Okay, the Korean cuisine that I tried when I was there, like in Quezon City, was very interesting. They've got all these gold bowls and 15 type varieties. And one of the things that they were eating were the roots of plants. And these are supposed to have medicinal and herbal nutritional help for the human body. And it's interesting because they have not been exposed to a lot of medical innovation, advancement. Yet they're keeping themselves healthy and well. So they actually go back to what they've been consuming. So are you going to market North Korean cuisine in Singapore, therefore, as something that is good for the health, as having these medicinal properties? Are you really going to sell that side? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We're actually trying to do more research into that, and we're trying to package it together as an interesting Korean food and culture. Because the service crew are the ones that can serve and do song and dance. Yeah. Okay. Three, come in here.
Douglas, can you give us an idea of your overheads in terms of the cost for the raw materials, the fish and so on? Where do you expect to source the main ingredients from, and how big a cost are they going to be? I mean, what are the difficulties operationally of operating in a country that is essentially for want of a better phrase, a global pariah?
Actually, there are raw materials that we can get in the country itself. Seafood, there are lots of seafood on the eastern board. What we saw was a beautiful, clean sea cucumber, lots of fishes, and some of the raw material we might be able to use adapting from the Korean agriculture into the Japanese food cuisine. Though we still need to import some of it, and that actually would add up some cost. We expect some of it to be even as high as doubling. But because we are actually charging premium on this, we expect to be able to do some good business there. Very, very quickly, when exactly are you going to open your first North Korean restaurant in Singapore? We were hoping to be in the next year or so, but we need to look at what's happening in the whole situation to make sure that when we open, things moving in and out, we don't have too much problem in that, because we will need quite a lot of raw ingredients from that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
possibly in the next year or so, and you're opening in New York next year as well?
Yes, that's right. That's really the direction that we want to make Sakai Sushi. We like Sakai Sushi to be like the McDonald's of sushi. Yeah, when people think of burgers today, they think of McDonald's. We want people to think of sushi and they think of Sakai Sushi.
So instead of the golden arch, it'll be the golden S. Thank you
Yes.
very much for joining us
Thank you
today.
very much, Maggie.
Douglas
Thank
Foo
you.
of Apex PAL International. Well, in an era of programming and entertainment shake-ups, a new word has entered the lexicon, the webisode. It is a new phenomenon that is challenging old media and creating new opportunities. CNBC's Jerry Cobb explains.
Fans who can't get enough of Battlestar Galactica on the Sci-Fi Channel can watch additional installments of the show at sci-fi.com.
I should have been there.
These short 3-minute segments known as webisodes have been downloaded 5.5